All right, everybody, welcome back to the stream. I do apologize for the what am I trying to say? It's for the stream not showing on the correct notification. I had like a countdown, and then I went live, and we are now in the other, I guess, channel, if you will. But it's neither here nor there. We are live. Everything is up and running. Let me just verify one other thing here. Perfect. All right. All right, guys. Today we are in the wonderful Toliss 319. And we are going to do a live flight from San Diego to Phoenix Sky Harbor with Pilot Edge, with ortho scenery, and some new hardware settings. Go ahead and check the description if you are curious about those. It is with your guys' support that donations and stuff, I really appreciate it. I'm investing everything right back into my hardware for you guys, and I think this is going to be a great little channel once we get it really rolling. Okay, let's get right into it. We are in a cold and dark aircraft here in the Toliss 319. We're going to get everything warmed up, get the batteries on, get the ground power on, and the ADIRs aligning. One thing you'll notice, there is a mod for the cockpit textures on the X-Plane forum. I will provide a link as soon as I close this. Maybe one of you guys can find it. But I'm telling you, it is almost a game changer. I don't know why it's not a default texture for this aircraft. You could see right here the pop-outs are, for the FMC or McDo, it's photoreal. So pretty awesome. We're going to go ahead and get the screens turned on. Thing is aligning. Doors are open. What gate am I on at KSAN? We are actually at standby. I believe we're at gate 28 on Terminal 2. So we're at Terminal 2. I believe it's 28. We are connected with Pilot Edge as well. As soon as the center opens up, which it might maybe already be open, we're going to get our clearance and we're going to do some live air traffic control as well. All right. 1500 overcast, visibility at 8 miles, 160 at 6, altimeter is 29902. Open up the, let's see, ISCS screen here. We're going to fill this puppy up today. We're going to set our CG, forward and aft, cargo. 145 people. 9,000 on the fuel, very close to that. Forward CG, let's see. There we go. That looks pretty good. And let's go ahead and fire up the APU as well. Whoa, apologize for that. If you guys hear any banging in the background, that's my dog trying to get into the room. So I may have to fix that here. There it is. Fire that up. I am working with the additional sound pack for the IAE engines that Toliss provides. It's pretty good. It's not BSS, but it's pretty good. Getting fired up there. Should get in a veil light. There it is. APU bleed's coming off. We'll disconnect from the ground power. Get the signs on. And fire test. It's actually easier if you test from track IR here because you want to be able to see our fire lights and the ECAM memo, but it's hard for me to look down at the same time. That's good. That's good. Ground control push button on. That is in the line. Get that radio panel on. Overhead is set. Let's initialize the box here. And actually, we need our fuel. Block fuel, we're going to go 9.0. There it is. Alright, I apologize. I had to take care of my dog. I got a little beagle and he is not happy that I shut the door on him. Alright, today we are San Diego to Phoenix. Alternate is Tucson. We're operating this flight as American 438. Do you use another cockpit texture? Yes, you know what? I meant to put the link in the description. I'll do this at the closure of this video, but it's actually, or maybe we can find it in Cruise. You can probably find it. It's on the X-Plane forum for Toliss. It's a cockpit texture mod, and I'm telling you, it is a game changer because it really brings the quality of this cockpit to a whole nother level. And that was kind of my thing. You know, the flight factor looks so good, and the Toliss was definitely lacking, I think, in the texture department. But this mod is absolutely awesome, and it is right on par with the flight factor, if not better, to be honest. And like I said, this pop out here, a photorealistic McDo, is awesome. Gene Brunette, how do you get the stats in the upper left corner? That is a function of Project Fly. So I'm connected through Project Fly. I filed a flight plan, and then I was able to use Streamer Tools, get that link for Project Fly, and then I can run that link through my Stream software so you guys get the information up on the top left corner. Cruise altitude is 330. We're going to align. 3 minutes on that. Alright, we are departing off runway 27. on the Zoo 1 Imperial. I should actually be doing this over here like this in plan mode. Insert that so we can kind of step through our flight plan. After Imperial, we are going to intercept J18. Thanks, man. Great stream. Thank you. Awesome. Glad you guys enjoy it. We are Airways. J18. Out to BZA. Can't remember the name of that fix, but BZA, and then we're going to intercept the arrival. Into Phoenix for the ILS runway 8. Hydra 1. Hogs transition, insert that. Now we can take a little look through our flight plan here. Turn the constraints on. I don't know why it's shivering or jumping like that. Alright. Brighter blues all the way through. Oh, got a discon right there. That discon, I covered it in the professional series. I basically ended the airway and I didn't put the transition point in manually. I just loaded the arrival, so when that happens you get a discon. Had I have typed in hogs and then loaded the arrival, I wouldn't have had a discon there. But like an Airbus, like I always say, there's 100 ways to do the same thing. Just make sure you end up verifying everything. Alright, that looks good. We can't do a secondary, unfortunately, for the Toliss, which it is a bummer, so we're going to have to leave that blank, which in real life, the secondary flight plan out of San Diego was pretty important because you got terrain around, you've got, short runway, semi-short runway, so we do use that, but unfortunately we can't tune that in there. Radio navigation, I'm nothing to hard tune there. Initialization page B. Let's go ahead and pull up our ISCS. We have a zero fuel weight CG of 25.0. Okay, I have to not mess this up. So in the real aircraft, and I've brought this up with the designers of Toliss, this is actually backwards. The flight factor shows it correct. And I'm not sure. I think maybe they modeled it from a very, very early on software standpoint that maybe this was correct back in the day, but I've never seen it like this. So I always put these numbers inverted. So let's see. So I need to put the CG first. So that's going to be 25.0, which is already set there, and the zero fuel weight of 58.0. So yeah, in the real aircraft, it's zero fuel weight first, and then the CG after that. Block fuel, we're going 9.0. Should have plenty of gas. 2 hours extra time, alternate, looking very good there. On the progress page, we're just going to load in San Diego 27. And then, last but not least, our performance data is, we're going to do a flaps, let's do a flaps 2 takeoff. And we are going to have 150. 150. Thank you, Dimitri, for putting that link on there. That is the correct link. That is the mod I have, yeah. And 153. Transition altitude is 18,000, acceleration at 1,500. So if we do blow an engine with, and in this Toliss, one thing that the Toliss does have over the flight factor is failure simulation. And if you've been following my streams, I took off out of Vegas. We had a couple of faults pop up. So that keeps you on your toes. I do have my fault scenarios up a little bit higher. I think a flight time factor of 100. So faults do happen. And it keeps me on my toes. I like it. So Always good to know that reduction, thrust, acceleration, altitude in case we blow an engine, we got to come back around. DJ Roscoe 82, hesitation on X-Plane, all the good Airbus sims are in kilograms. Yeah, I know, man, it's tough. And for me, especially since all I've used is Imperial, when I get in the sim, I have to think twice. I'm like, oh my gosh, I only have 8.0 on the fuel, but actually that's kilograms, and we got a lot more. So I do wish there was an option to change it to pounds. I really do. I mean, we're paying good money for these add-ons. I know it's a lot of work for the software developers to get in there and change it, but I really think it would be a wonderful addition to have pounds. And like I said, flap setting of 2. THS, we don't worry about this in the single aisle Airbus. All right, our perf data has been set. Let's go ahead and call clearance delivery. Connor Lou, glad to see things get. Yes, I think I do. Like I said, we're still kind of in the learning phase and growing pains of this channel, but yeah, I think it's coming together. I think it's coming together. James Lang, watching from Scotland, UK, my friend. Awesome. Glad to have you here, man. Glad to have you here. All right, I gotta look at my chart here. Clearance delivery for Lindbergh is 125 decimal niner. Oh, went the wrong way on that one. All right, let's see if we can give him a call. Make sure my bindings are set. Lindbergh clearance, good morning. American 438 IFR to Phoenix Sky Harbor.
462 Kilo Josh, approach the Palmdale altimeter 29902. After Palmdale, to maintain 8,000 and advise you have information Kilo at Victorville.
Sounds like he's talking to another aircraft. Hopefully get back to us. Let me make sure my setting is
62 Kilo, do you have approach bus?
correct for my Warthog. Oh,
Roger that, expect that.
we don't want that. Whoops. Contact ATC. Lindbergh clearance, good morning. American 438 IFR to Phoenix Sky Harbor.
American 438 Lindbergh clearance. You'll have to disconnect and fix your identifier. It's for American, it's Alpha Alpha Lima, and you're logged in as Alpha Alpha. You'll have to do that, and then you'll have to refile the flight plan under the Alpha Alpha Lima 438.
Okay, we'll do it. Thanks. All right. So apparently they didn't like that filing. Not a problem. I'm going to just do a quick refile here. This is why they have. This is why we have dispatchers. All right, I'm refiling right now. I know you can't see it. Let's see. 330. Tucson the alternate. AAL. All right. We should be refiled.
3179, contact Los Angeles Center 128.6.
Disconnected.
Disconnect and reconnect. Please do a flight school series with a simple trainer Cessna 172 for Simmerson real world experience. Yes, you know what? It's funny you bring that up because I actually was talking to a couple of my buddies that I flew the default Cessna in X-Plane yesterday or the other day for the first time ever. And
Connected to pilot
I'm
F.
telling you, that flight dynamics on the default Cessna 172 is awesome. I've actually been entertaining the idea of doing kind of a flight instructor series as well, maybe down the line, maybe when FlyJSims comes out with their shared cockpit and we can set up some shared cockpit, I can sit in the right seat and instruct guys who don't have real-world experience. I think that would be fun to do. Zero fuel weight should be 58.1. Let me double-check that here. Was I off? Let's see. 58 point. We'll leave 58.0 for now. That's not a big deal. Close enough. In the real aircraft, as soon as you start engines, this will automatically update to what is on the aircraft. So it'll know. So I'm not sure if how it's modeled in a Toliss, but we'll take a look at that too when we start up the engines. Will help so much coming from you, a real pilot. You can follow the syllabus from real world training. Yeah, I would love to do it. Like I said, it's stuff in the pipeline, guys. Stuff in the pipeline. I've got a lot of ideas for this channel, and I really think we can take it quite a while. Looking forward to watch your new video series, Piston. Yeah, I'm glad you watched that trailer and you like it. I'm really excited about that. Hello, Dean from Birmingham in the UK. Great job. If you keep it up, your channel will grow as the content is awesome. Thank you, Dean. I really appreciate that. That is the goal. Really, Dimitri, I did not know about an additional cockpit pack. I'll have to look into that. All right, let me give a call to clearance. Lindbergh clearance. Good morning, American 438 now going to Phoenix Sky Harbor.
American 438, Lindbergh clearance cleared to Phoenix Airport, Zoo 2 departure, Imperial transition as followed. Climb via SID, squawk 6015.
All right, cleared to Phoenix Sky Harbor, Zoo 2 departure procedure, Imperial transition, climb via SID, squawking 6015, American 438.
American 438, repeat correct. Skywest 3179, contact Los Angeles Center 124.62.
All right, we're going to squawk 6015. Put that in above. We are ready. Got our clearance. Climb via the SID. Let's see, let me get the chance here to thank you for this one and all previously. Very good content. Well done. Keep going. Regards from Echo. Wow, Nuno. Thank you so much for the kind words, man. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I love teaching. I love sharing my experience with you guys. I'm glad you're receiving it so well. Hello from Japan. Good to see you again. Have I tried the Matavia Blue Mac? Yes, I did. And I did it on my last stream. And it didn't turn out too well because I had some hardware issues, but I've upgraded my PC, so hopefully we'll be able to get back into that. I do love the Matavia mod for the 320. Take a break from the contents here, or from the comments here, just for a second. We're going to get things up. We're going to get this show on the road. Let's close up all the doors here. Everything is closing up. We need to, that is good. We've got our fuel on board. That is good. And ground services, we can disconnect the external power. I really wish, it'd be really cool if they would implement, if you press the mechanic button right here, that'd pull up that ICS screen. I think that would be really cool. Beacon's on, nav is on. That is coming on. We are good on top. Let's get our pre-planned pushback.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Open keyboard command. Oh, I forgot. I gotta bind that. Who am I talking to? Is it really? This is Pilot Edge. So as far as I'm aware, I think it is actually real controllers or controllers in training. I tell you what, they sound pretty darn good. So I don't know exactly the stats or who's talking on the other end, but it is pretty realistic. All right, we call ground for push here, which we're going to call them on 23.9. I'm running before start checklist. All right, windows, doors, and slides, closing arm, beacon is on, thrust levers idle, parking brake is on, transponder is transponder, before start checklist completed. Lindbergh ground, American 438, push off Charlie 28.
438 Limber Ground, are you pushing on the Bravo?
Negative. We're going to push into the alley if that's okay.
American 438, we don't have any ram control here. You can push as long as you're not pushing onto an active taxiway. You don't need clearance to do so.
All right, copy that. We're pushing. We'll push pilot discretion then. 438. Thanks. All right, we are good to push. Let's get out of here.
Ground to cockpit. Toliss driving.
I just watched your no APU and engine start. Very educational. Thank you, Alan A. I'm glad that was that you learned something there. That's the goal of those videos. I love doing cross-country flights with those aircrafts. Hope one day I'll be able to experience that in real life. Camilo, thank you. Yeah, I hope you will too, man. Hello there, Ricardo. DJ Roscoe82 says it's about time we had an Airbus-centric channel. That's right. So many others are just Boeing. Hey, man, in light of the recent events, if it's Boeing, I ain't going. In real life, would you take off with flaps 1 or 2, Blue Mac? It depends. I've said before in my videos that when we get all of our takeoff data...
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
When we get all of our takeoff data and all our numbers, we actually send it via the ACARS in the ATC comm menu here, and all that information gets sent off to a third-party performance company, and they come back with all of our performance numbers, our V-speeds, our flaps settings, our flex settings, all that. So it really depends on what comes back from the ACARS, and they take everything into account: temperature, humidity, runway, slope, and it's much more conservative than a lot of the numbers I see. In fact, the Toliss 319 V-speeds that pop out actually seem much more realistic in their values than the flight factor ones.
Inserted. Release parking brake.
All right, brakes release. You're clear to push. Tail in the alley.
Starting pushback, and you may start engine.
Let's get over here and watch the pushback. We'll clear the gate here a little bit before we start firing up the engines. How would we donate or patron? I can see XX on the top right corner. DJ Roscoe, so you can donate via PayPal, Super Chat. That's all I have right now, I believe. I'm probably going to set up a patron situation, and that's where I would kind of take the flight instructor course, maybe down the line when the FlyJ Sim shared cockpit comes out with all aircraft, I'll actually be able to, with patrons, sit in their cockpit and we'll go through real lessons and do real training in X-Plane. I just think that's so cool. So hopefully I'll get that set up at some point. But right now, donations are welcome from the Super Chat and PayPal through the stream. Depends on weights. Yeah, it does. Keep calm and push for magenta. That's right. Maz Rizwan, how do you get qualified to fly an airliner from after you do basic training on a trainer aircraft? Do you get training in the aircraft in the real world, or is it just sims? Well, when you get to an airliner, you're going to do mostly all sim, as far in the States anyway. In North America, you do all your training in the sim, and then you do what's called IOE, or initial operating experience, where you fly your first however many hours they have laid out for you in the program with a qualified check airman who is a very senior, very experienced pilot.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Brakes set, you're clear to disconnect. Show me the pin.
Disconnecting tail. Stand by.
Let's get these engines fired up. We've got good pressure and turning engine 1. Hi from Porto, Portugal. Thanks for your videos. Haha, hello. Thank you. Hello, mister. I'm new to this channel. I was a 321st officer moving to headquarters of a small African airline. Mr. Dylan, FM. Welcome to the channel, man. Glad to have you. Glad to have some more experienced guys tuning in as well. Airbus Brothers. DJ Roscoe 2 also drives me nutty that flight factor only of CFM.
And bypass bin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
I feel your pain, DJ Roscoe. I feel your pain. It drives me nutty that flight or that BSS doesn't have sound for this aircraft either. It makes me sad because that CFM BSS sound pack is so darn good. Cosmic Bloom, thank you for putting out the donation there. Cosmic Doubloon is a good friend of mine, so you can trust anything he says, and he's much more versed in the streaming world and how it all works. I've been relying on a lot of my friends to kind of get me up to speed and how this all works. Cedric, big fan from Singapore. Thank you for the kind words. Alright, we got a good start on engine number 2, normal, that's coming up, flaps 2. These flaps deploy so fast, it still bugs me. Still bothers me. That's alright. Engine 2 is started, APU is coming off. After start checklist, engine anti-ice is off, yellow electric pump is off, rudder trim 0. After start checklist complete. Let me just check something here. What did we say our trim was going to be? Oh, we can't access it now. Alright, that's good enough. I think it was like 25, wasn't it? .5% CG set. That's good enough. Alright, we gotta call ground and get out of here. Ground, American 438 ready taxi. We just pushed off Charlie 28 in the alley.
Runway 27, taxi to Bravo.
27 taxi at Bravo, American 438. Alright, we are good to taxi. Here we go. Helps if you release that parking brake. Whoa. I don't know if you guys know, does that happen to you guys if you have the Toliss? As soon as I release the parking brake, I get a little jolt. Not sure what that's all about. Christian Bell, hello there, and greetings from Berlin, Germany. Lots of interesting stuff here to watch. Thank you, Christian. Welcome. Have I ever landed on Kennedy? Absolutely. Ever talked to Kennedy Steve? Yeah, I have. Kennedy Steve is famous. Alright, let's go ahead and do a flight control check. Full up. Full down. Oh, that's right. I forgot my ailerons are connected to my nose wheel steering. Whoops. We don't want to do that. So until I can figure out this tiller binding, I have to use my joystick on the ground for nose wheel steering, which is kind of weird. And then we would go ahead and check the rudder as well. Alright, here we go. Max, takeoff config, check. On and auto. TARA, flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff. We are looking good there. When you're on flex or toga takeoff and you're flying SRS, do you exceed the V2 plus 10 frequently, or does SRS bars keep pitching up to V2 plus 10? Well, I mean, you fly into the command bars, so as long as you fly into the command bars, I think you'll be safe. I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. You're asking if the pitch bars will keep updating? Yes, they will. As long as you follow the command bars, you're going to be on profile, and you'll be able to meet your second segment glide numbers. You don't want to under-rotate. Awesome, Cosmic. Glad to hear it. Mr. Dylan FM, yeah, Bruce Brothers, I personally flew around Europe, low-cost German airline of Dusseldorf. Nice. Try to guess which airline. Well, I'll have to think about that one. A low-cost airline, Airbus airline. What's that? Maybe EasyJet, maybe? No, that wouldn't be German. Let's see. Daniel Carley, yep, I got that on Toliss a couple days ago. My Toliss span on the spot when doing a pushback. Yeah, it's a couple times now it's happened. Make the screen chat smaller. It's a bit large and distracting. Okay, I will. As soon as we get airborne, I can adjust that through my my app here. Let me just get airborne, and I will make that screen chat smaller. Awesome, Captain Kringles. You're flying it. I'm flying it. Hopefully, you can learn something. Is this a giant? No, Rocco. This is the Toliss Airbus A319 from Toliss Simulations. It's pretty darn good. There are a couple things that are still a little unfinished, but it is overall a very nice aircraft. And actually, with that cockpit mod, it makes it's a game changer. Like I said, I thought the cockpit textures were a little bit disappointing for a quality payware add-on, but with the cockpit mod, it is awesome. And then you throw in a BSS sound pack, it would be even better. James Lang, what is SRS? That's the speed reference system. Chatbox, yeah. All right, Eurowings, okay. Got a lot of chat messages coming through here, guys. Trying to keep up with all of them. All right, we should have set our top altitude here on the SID. We're going to take care of that as we hold short of runway 27. How are the frames for you guys? I know on the last stream it was pretty gnarly, but I've done some hardware updates. You can find them in the description, and I hope it's a little bit better for you. All right, let's do a couple things here. Brakes are set. Taxi light off for a minute. And let's look at the SID. Top altitude is going to be 15,000. So I need to change that. And that is good. Just a couple of things I would have had written down. 25:15 for departure. And Lindbergh Tower is going to be on 18.3. You know, flying this thing single pilot in the sim really sheds a light on why this is a 2-crew aircraft, because I end up forgetting a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's this? So bear with me. I know it may not look perfect all the time, but there's a reason there's 2 of us up here in real life. All right, departure is going to be 25:15. All right, we are good to go. Target morning, American 438, holding short 27, ready for departure.
American 438, Lindbergh Tower, runway 27, clear for takeoff.
Runway 27, clear for takeoff, American 438. All right, we are cleared to go. Two 909.5. All right, crisis averted. Oh, if I can change it, that would be nice, wouldn't it? There we go. 299.5 set.
3171 Los Angeles Center, descend via Ironman to Bravo.
overshot that turn there. I just flew 321s all week, so I forgot we're on a 319. All right, let's get out of here. Spool them up.
That's correct. Stand by one.
And flex SRS runway. Auto thrust is blue. This is where having that nose wheel steering attached to the stick is very counterintuitive for me. 100 knots, neutralize the forward down pressure. Oh, a little bit of a bump there on the runway, huh? Yeah, see, I gotta use the stick for ground control. That's a little weird. Okay, V1 will rotate.
71,
Positive rate, gear up. Straight into the command bars. We're navving. Alright, lever climb. Make sure you get a positive trend in airspeed before you go ahead and reduce the climb. There it is. Thrust climb, auto thrust. Yes, I do have real view currently in use. Alright, let's go flap to 1. Since we're in the clouds, we'll just kind of zoom in here on our PFD and ND. Flap 0 after takeoff checklist. Alright, we are accelerating out. Got a 4. Accelerating at 250. As soon as we exit the turn hill, we'll engage the autopilot so we can look around a little bit. There's nothing prohibiting you from engaging it during the turn. I prefer give the airplane an autopilot when it's nice and stable. It just seems to be nicer.
That was 3179, contact Albuquerque Center 132.
Rolling out of the turn. Alright, let's get autopilot.
438, contact American.
Over departure, American 438. Alright, we got a departure swap. Departure, good morning, American 438, 6.9, climbing 5000 via the Zoo 2.
American 438, second departure, radar contact.
Alright, let's take a look at, let's get a good view here, and I'm going to catch up on some of these comments. Altimeter tuner, yeah, we already talked about that. Oh, with the bit rate. Okay, Micah, yeah, I saw some bit rate settings. I'm playing around with them. I will definitely enhance them for the next stream. I apologize for that. I know I actually saw some of that when I was watching some of my streams back. So I apologize for that. I will adjust that for the next one. Mr. Dillon FM, I'm feeling nostalgic by seeing the U.S. Airways. Me too, Mr. Dillon. This, one of my, I mean, I miss it, man. I miss seeing this bird flying around. What Airbus do you fly in real life? I fly the 320 family, so I fly the 19, 20, and 21. Just depends on the schedule. Do I use Track IR? Yes, I'm using a mix of Track IR, and then I'm pausing it, and then just using my real view, things like that. Cosmic, can you remind me the difference between comms, ATC, the difference between departure and takeoff? So, the way I always taught my students is the only person that should say takeoff is the tower. So I always told them that you say, hey, you're ready for departure. You don't check in with the tower saying I'm ready for takeoff, because while it's not wrong, I just find it better practice to use the word departure. That way, if you hear takeoff, you know, hey, maybe a tower's talking. It's something I taught all my students, and I think it's good pilot practice. We're going to meet this restriction here. At or above 14, let's take a look at it. It's showing 13.6. Let's go ahead and pull selected speed. There we go, that'll take care of it. We were climbing out at cost index 99, so what I did is, instead of accelerating all the way to our programmed cruise speed, which would have been 340, I go ahead and pulled it at 300. So now the aircraft is going to pitch maintaining 300 knots. So look at the increase in climb rate, and now we're going to cross Georgia no problem at or above 14. I had an Airbus land in front of me in a river while I was at work once. Oh boy, I know what you're talking about. Ever think about trying X and Viro? No, I haven't yet. I usually use the X-Plane Clouds, and I don't seem to have any issues with them yet, but maybe down in the future I will. Oh, 19 and 20 with Eurowings. Awesome. Jersey Airport, Atlanta 392. It's really, yeah, of course, Jersey Airport. I know exactly what you're talking about. It does get a little tight. We're going into Burbank, and I tell you what, that runway's tight. I think landing distance is pretty darn close to 4,700 to 4,800 feet. Hold on, see if we get the climb going here. And departure American 438. Any chance we can keep the climb going here, leveling 15,000? Let's see. Did you ever get the auto retract? Yes.
American 438, the top altitude there should be flight level 230.
Alright, we will climb 230, American 438. That's interesting, because I'm looking at my Zoo 2 departure.
American 438, contact Los Angeles Center 133, correction 124.62.
2462, American 438, good. Alright, 2462. Boom, he said we're good to 220, which I think that might be incorrect, because on my chart,
Los Angeles Center, FedEx 3171.
on my chart I'm showing top altitude of, oh wow, I'm retarded. Yep.
3171, Los Angeles Center, Los Angeles altimeter 2992.
It's actually top altitude is 230. I'm looking at my iPad, which is way off to the side because I'm charging it, so I can't really read that. Oh well. Center, good morning, American 438. 16, climbing flight level 230.
American 438, Los Angeles Center, climb maintain flight level 330.
Climb maintain flight level 330, American 438. Alright, ever heard? Okay, I caught up with those. I know I'm trying to catch up with these comments. If I'm skipping over you guys, I apologize. I try to get through everybody's comment when I can. Auto retract, yes, quite a bit. I think I already answered that one, especially when it's hot out too. Hot and heavy, man. You're always getting it. Do pilots always use arc view at navigation when the rose is used? Or when is rose used? Yeah, we typically always use arc nav and plan nav. Rose nav does have its time and place for certain items. If you're doing a raw data approach, which means no GPS, and you're actually going to be doing, or maybe a VOR approach where you're going to be in nav mode, where the pilot flying in that case would actually have arc up, and the pilot monitoring would be in rose nav, verifying the raw data is correct. So we do use it sometimes. Very uncommon, though. Very uncommon. At least in the general airports that we fly to in North America. When you go down to South America and such, here's transition altitude standard set, passing 18.7. Check. Let's go topless, which then we would go ahead and turn the intercom off. Whoa. Turn the speaker on and take our headsets off, but I can't do that since I'm talking to these guys with you here. Alright, can you open ascent so that you reach your... You can do open climb Yes, but the problem wasn't the climb, it was the speed. The aircraft was trying to open climb and reach a speed of 340. So I selected it at 300, so it gave it more performance to climb faster. That's why we met that restriction. And in the real world, I will do that as well, especially with the 319s. You know, they're older airframes, they're pretty tired. So I don't like flying down low at 340 knots. I just feel like that's a lot of stress on the airframe, even though it's certified for it and it's totally fine. Personal preference. And besides, it's loud. When you're down low in that thick air, you know, between below 20,000, between 10 and 20,000 feet, it can be pretty loud if you're doing 340. So we climb out just like we're doing now, 300, and now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and manage the speed, and the aircraft will continue its climb. It will reduce its climb rate, but it will accelerate to 340 knots. Mr. Dillon, yeah, as far as Europe is concerned, from what I'm hearing, I got a buddy that is in training over there as well. It's very charted, very specific in Europe from what I hear. It's not, there's a lot more restrictions, I guess, and I also heard that when you're flying a Star, maybe you can correct me or fill this in, when you're flying an Arrival or a Star, that it's very uncommon to deviate or get a different speed assignment than was published. I was talking to a couple of my buddies. It's like, yeah, in the States, that's almost a given. I mean, I think I fly maybe 10% of all arrivals in North America. Do I fly the actual full published arrival? I'm always getting vectored off for speeds and things like that. So we'll go ahead and keep it on this view for now. Yes, Berman. It's a shame the Jar Design 330 doesn't have airways in the McDo. I want to be able... Yeah, I know. I've stayed away from all the Jar products so far. Maybe I'll get into them if they get some more updates, but I'm pretty happy with the 319 and 320 by Toliss and Flight Factory, respectively, so... Mr. Dillon also says some questions for you. Have you ever flown one with CRT displays on summer season? Yes, and you can't see anything. Luckily, I think all of our fleet has been retrofitted now. We don't have the CRT displays. There's a couple McDo's that are still CRT, or the real old ones in the 319s, and you can't see anything. It's pretty difficult. Ever flown the Neo? Yes, I have, quite a bit. I do love the Neo. It's a great airplane when the engines aren't blowing up on you. But what Mr. Dillon was referring to...
Contact SoCal approach, 124.5.
Who was that for? Oh, SoCal approach, it wasn't us. He's talking to these McDo's here, so in the on the older aircraft, the CRT displays on these McDo's are not very bright. The contrast is hard to read, especially if you have sunlight coming in, and you'll look over and you just see nothing. It just looks like everything's black because the sun glare is so bad. But luckily, most of our screens have been retrofitted now. Madeira, Innsbruck, yeah. X-Plane 1972, good to see you here, buddy. I was just watching your stream the other night. Alright, I've kind of skipped through the comments so I can get back to the most recent ones, guys. I apologize, just got a little saturated there on the ground. What is Pilot Edge? Exact the same as Iveo or VATSIM for Pisa Times? Pilot Edge is an air traffic control service similar to VATSIM. I know it's a paid subscription. You have to there's a free trial period for certain coverage zones.
American 438 Cross Hogs that maintains level 250.
Cross Hogs flight level 250, American 438. Alright, so he's already given us a restriction to Cross Hogs at 250. So we'll go ahead and put that in here. We should probably stay on top of everything here. Only 200 miles. We're going to have to increase this climb here. let's go ahead and do a 7-7 climb out. The Center for American 438. Any chance we can change our cruise altitude for level 290?
American 438, amend the altitude, maintain level 290, cross hog, then maintain level 250.
Roger that, climb maintain 290, we'll cross hogs 250, American 438. Alright, so we're going to change our cruise altitude to 290. 33 was a little ambitious for such a short flight. We're only 198 miles away, so... Alright. Ever go out of Boston? Yeah, all the time, man. I just was had a big cluster over there a couple of weeks ago and sat on the ground for a couple hours. And actually, over Easter, I spent pretty much the entire night at Boston Airport due to the storms and weather and all that. So I do get into Boston quite a bit. Mr. Dillon says, yeah, true, we have some direct on the stars. Best joystick fly loads of Airbus. My opinion, it's going to be the Thrustmaster Warthog. That tension and everything from the Warthog stick very closely replicates the actual Airbus side stick. If they had the grip of the Airbus, I think it would feel almost identical, to be honest with you. X-Plane 1972, thanks, man. I'm here learning from you. Awesome, man. Glad to have you here. Like I said, I stumbled across your channel the other day. I guess maybe because we're both content creators or streamers, it was in my suggestions, and I started watching it. I was intrigued, man. DJ Roscoe says Sid Star design is pretty good here. They will sometimes vector flights off for spacing, but studying FR24, it's really only a super rush hour. Yeah. Between the airplanes you fly now, the 319, 320, 321, which one do you prefer? Well, I think I prefer the 321 in rough air. If it's going to be turbulent, I like the 321 just because it's a heavier aircraft and it feels like it kind of beats back on the air. Whereas, when you're in a 319 or 320, it's almost feels more like a sports car. Really, the suspension is pretty stiff, but that 321 has got enough weight to it with that longer fuselage. It just adds a little bit. So I feel like it's pretty good. Probably my favorite in rough air. If it's not rough air, then I like the 319, to be honest with you. The 319 is a little sports car, man. You can get full speed brakes out. You can drop it in. You can get pretty good climb performance out of it. So on any given day, I do kind of like the 319, and it's loud and old, but I mean, it is pretty fun to fly. It's more sporty. The 320 is probably one of the trickiest of the three to get in and out of tight airports, just because it doesn't descend very well. Captain Kringles donated $5. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for the donation. You guys are the backbone of this channel, and I really appreciate the donations. Like I said, I'm investing everything back into the sim. I hope you can see some performance enhances already for you guys. Thank you again, Captain Kringles. But yeah, the 320 is I'd say a little bit more slippery to get in and out of airports, just because it doesn't seem to slow down as well, obviously with the speed brake restriction and all that. But the 320 Neo is pretty good as well, because it's got those bigger fans on the front. It's got a really large bypass section, so that helps with the slowing down, unlike the regular CEO engine. Airfile AD Felipe 82, awesome channel, man. Waiting to start my 320 type. Awesome. How to use the mouse buttons to select altitude manager, open left, right, both. I think it actually has to do with in the Toliss anyway. If it's a single dot, you're pushing it. If it's a double dot, you're pulling it. That's how I use these buttons. Single to push and double to pull. Micah Messer says, I'm a Boeing guy. It's what I stream mostly, but I also don't mind hopping to 320. When I switched over to Boeing to Airbus, it was quite a learning curve. Now it's nothing to switch. Yeah, it's just different airplanes, man. Different. That's all it is. Just different systems. Once you learn it, it's not like it's harder or easier. It's just a different setup. Does your company Neo have LEAP or GTF? LEAP or GTF? You're probably gonna not like my answer, because I'm not really familiar with those acronyms. Maybe if you can specify those acronyms, I can get to that. Just imagine a charter flight from Madeira to Innsbruck. Well, I had it at one time, and it's just 220%. I can imagine, man. I can imagine. That is probably a high workload flight. High workload. Nick says, hi, Captain. Looks like no glitches this time. Did you upgrade your PC? Yes, I did, Nick. And it is thanks to you guys. I just want to keep emphasizing that. It's your donations and your support. Like I said, I'm just taking that and reinvesting it into my hardware to get you guys the best content possible so we can really get this channel taken off. If you're unaware, I'm going to be taking leave from work here in the next couple of weeks. And while it might be a little tight at first because I'm welcoming a new one into the family, once that kind of gets stable, I'm going to have some time off with my leave, and I really want to take this channel to another level. I've already introduced the Piston series that's going to be coming out. I really think it'd be cool to do a flight instructor course, maybe through Patreons or something like that, or maybe have a couple free lessons, and then if you guys like it, you can become a Patreon member and go through a whole certificate rating with a multi-crew in an aircraft that you pick, whether it's Cessna 172 or something like that. So I've got a lot of ideas for the channel. I'm excited for where it's going, and I really think we can grow it together and make it a really nice a place to come enjoy some X-Plane content. Fork Boy Ortho looks amazing. Yes, it sure does. Freedom, where are you based out of? I'm based out of Dallas, Fort Worth. Texas represent, baby. Do you use real weather? Yes, I do use real weather. I'm using real weather right now. So let's go ahead and have a listen to the flyby view. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? We get to talking here. We go ahead and flew all the way up to cruise with the lights on. I tell you what, if you do that in the real airplane, you will feel it. Once you start getting above 250 knots, these landing lights here, we call them, well, I won't say what you call them, may not be politically correct, but anyway, they're little mini speed brakes, essentially, and if you leave those puppies out above 250 knots, man, you really start feeling a vibration. It'd be cool if they had that simulated, but I guess it's not that apparent. Good to see you in the live from Saba Temesfari. Butchering that one. Hope a ton of videos. Yes, they will. Yes, 1 dot pull, 2 dots to push. Yeah. No, 1 dot push, 1 dot push, 2 dots to pull. See that? I'm pulling the speed knob. I selected a Mach 8.0 and push in. Okay, guys, I got to set up for the descent here. We're getting close to hogs. 250, enter destination data. We need to get this thing loaded up here. We're going to go Phoenix, runway 08. Earth data. We're going to descend. I got to pull up the star. I apologize, guys. I'm going to miss a couple comments, but as soon as we get stable, more stable, we can get back into the comments here. All right, so we're coming from hogs. Judith, I'm looking at the restrictions on the star. We're going to bottom out at 5,000 at Kagor. I got to pull up the weather for Phoenix. Alright, we're going to get descent at... this also seems to be backwards to me. 310 knots. I feel like the knots should be on the other side. DJ Roscoe coming in with $5 donation. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Alright, next phase is the approach phase. Alright, this is not good. I can't get my weather to pull up here. Oh boy. Did we forget to start down? There we go. Mach descent. Let's catch up to it. Let's go ahead and just go open. Open descent. Let's get the brakes out. I was late on that one. Here it comes. Here comes the vertical deviation donut. We are catching right back up to it. Center American 438 vacated 290 for cross hogs 250. Speed alt.
American
Star.
438, contact Albuquerque Center, 128.45.
2845 American 438.
FedEx 3171 Heavy, 4 miles from Honda, turn left heading 270, maintain 3,500 to establish local altitude, LS runway 25, left approach.
Did I just have a radio failure? Look at that. What the heck is going on here, man? I have to take a look at that here in a second. Albuquerque, good morning, American 438, level 250. $2982. Center American 438.
American 438 should be 12845. You have a question?
2845, thanks. That was I was just going to ask you. Thank you. 2845 American 438.
FedEx 3171 at Lima, contact tower 120.905. Lee.
All right, there we go. We are back in business using COM 2. We got another situation coming up here. VHF 1 failure. Yeah, I know. We got all kinds of stuff happening. Albuquerque, good morning, American 438, level 250.
American 438 Albuquerque Center, descend via the Hyder 1 arrival, runway 8 transition.
All right, descend via the Hydra 1 RNAV, runway 8 transition, American 438.
American 438, the Phoenix altimeter 2982.
2982, American 438. All right, so we're slowing to 280 for Judith.
Pop Alpha Whiskey,
Runway 8 transition is a 5,000 feet. Things are getting busy here. We got to still get everything set up for the approach. I'm missing a lot of comments. I'm sorry. We got a comm failure now, and we're single pilot, and we're getting set up for the RNAV. All right, we are slowing to 280, and let's see. We're slowing to 280. Judith, there we go. All right, here we go. Temperature for weather is going to be variable at 6, 10 miles, 2982. So we're just going to go ahead. We're going to zero, since it's variable at 6, we're just going to go 0 for 0. Temperature is 3.5. Holy smokes, it's toasty down there. And if you could start down, that would be nice. Getting a little bit behind. Getting a little bit behind. Dumbo 61 coming in with a $5 donation. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Scout 3179, descend maintain 6,000.
You guys are the backbone of this channel. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry for missing comments, guys. I'm scrambling on my iPad here.
And Scout 3179.
Let's runway 8.
Should be 075 at this point.
All right, we got to cross red rack dam out below 220. I think we're going to make that. We're going to be just fine. The DA for ILS runway 8 is going to be 13.
You got that from clearance delivery when you got the Dingo 5 arrival, correct? So the Dingo 5 for the 11s says.
All right, so we've got that set up. We're going to go LS push buttons on. We're going to do an auto brake low. And let's run through a quick brief here.
11 left localizer, report the airport site.
All right, we're coming in on ILS runway 8 approach. ISYQ. We're going to auto-tune that. There it is, 111.75. Final approach course is 078. That should be shown here on the PFD. It's not, but we're going to pretend it is. WAS up is at 3,000 feet.
Will always be your discretion unless
DA is 1368.
Just let me know that you need
there it is in the box.
by identifying your
We got a couple
position
sector
and the
altitudes. The
taxiway
highest is
runway
going to be
you
out
will
to the
need.
northeast at 6,200 feet. We're looking for Pappies on the left, Mousef lighting. If we have to go mist. Oh. Flight control speed brake still out. I know. Sorry. If we have to go mist, we are straight out 3,000, followed by climbing a left turn 5,000 feet on a heading of 280 out to Avent and hold. Right turns, that's in the box, matches the plate. Landing on runway 08, it's going to be a right-hand turnoff. One of the high speeds, probably Bravo 9 and Bravo 10. We've got 11,400 feet available for landing. I'll send for landing data if I was able to. I'd send it right here. We get our performance data. And we're on Airbus A319 for tail strike avoidance. Planning on flaps full, low brakes, and probably idle reverse. Well, we're pretty heavy. We might go full reverse to save those brakes. Any questions? Hopefully he says no. Ground spoiler shouldn't be armed. I apologize. All right. I think we're set up now. We're descending 5,000. Speed is at 270 knots. Let me catch up with you guys. Let me catch up. If I miss a donation, guys, I really apologize. I'm trying to... if maybe you know if there's a way... I'm only running one monitor. If anybody's familiar with streaming, how can I get like a preview of the stream and the actions that are happening in my stream on my current monitor? Right now, what I have set up is I got my laptop next to me, and I'm watching the stream with my laptop as well. So that's how I'm reading comments and stuff and seeing your donations and all that. And if I miss stuff, like I said, I really apologize. Let me scroll back here and try to get on some of these comments here. Pratt & Whitney or CFM.
Scout 3179, contact 2.
They are
We'll see you.
Pratt & Whitney. Pratt & Whitney GTF. Yeah, PW1100G. Yeah. Okay, Pratt & Whitney. There we go. Yeah, we don't use the CFM Leap 1As. We do not. We use the PW1100Gs.
Scout 3179.
The instructor thing would be awesome. I'm always up for learning. Micah Messer. Perfect. I'm glad to hear it. You should get Discord. Mr. Dylan FM, I have a Discord. It is, here's a 29905 is set past the 17-1 approach checklist. Let's see. We've got briefing's complete, ECAM status is checked, auto brakes are low, seatbelts on, minimums. 1368 set, engine analyze 1 and 2 is off, and altimeter 2995 set passing 16.6. That checks, if I can look at it. Approach checklist complete. I do have a Discord. I am not posting the link yet. I'm still trying to set up all the channels, make sure I have my my links and everything in there. This Friday, be on the look for a Discord channel link so we can all stay connected. I'm going to publish the link on Friday. Which video card do I have now? Nick, I still have the GTX 1070. IFCA GTX 1070. Damn, look at those flyby FPS smooth as butter. Awesome. Captain Kringles, do I use Active Sky XP Realistic? I use X Vision and Real View. Those are the only two real mods that you're seeing. And of course, I use the Fork Boy Ortho Scenery. Default clouds, default weather.
438, contact Phoenix approach 128.65.
2865, American 438. We'll see you. 2865. Phoenix approach, good morning, American 438, leveling 15,000, descending via the Hydra with current ATIS at Sky Harbor. One two eight.
American 438, Phoenix approach afternoon. The Phoenix altimeter 2982, expect visual approach runway 8. I'm sorry, I didn't catch it. Do you have the ATIS?
Yeah, we've got the ATIS for Sky Harbor, altimeter 2982 now, American 438-08 transition.
I'm sorry, which code did you have?
I've got it at ACARS. I didn't have an actual code on it. I just picked up the real weather from it.
Okay, Pilot Edge does have a working ATIS system. You want to try grabbing it again just to make sure that your radio systems are working okay?
Okay, yeah, I'll grab it. I'm currently working with a VHF-1 failure right now. Let me go ahead and see if I can grab it on... I might have to switch frequencies momentarily.
That's fine. Just let me know when you're back.
Will do, American 438.
Appreciate it.
What the hell? Pilot Edge has an ATIS system, huh? I was unaware of that.
2882 full route available. Let me know when you're ready.
How does one do that? Let's go ahead and look. Pilot Edge, Pilot Center.
Delta 2882, Reno clearance, clear to Salt Lake City Airport, Zephyr 6 departure. Blackjack.
Published ATIS frequency? That's it? That's all I got to do? Alright.
Direct level lock.
Let's make sure the airplane's doing what it's doing. It is. So he wants me to just go to the Sky Harbor ATIS. So in the real world, we don't even use, we very rarely use this. We use ACARS to pick up our ATIS. So 2757.
332.
Here we go.
Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Sierra.
Sierra. Alright, Gila 250 below 17,000.
ATIS information, Sierra. 1651 Zulu. Wind variable at 6. Visibility 10. Few clouds at 25,000. Temperature 35. Dew point 9er. Altimeter 2982. Arriving runway 7 right. 8. Departing runway
2882. Thanks, you're back correct.
And approach American 438. We're back with you now. We have Sierra, Sky Harbor.
American 438. Roger. Thanks for Sierra. And again, expect visual approach runway 8.
Expect visual runway 8, American 438. Alright guys, gonna come scrolling back the comments here. Actually, hold on, we're going through 10. Oh no, let's see, punt 230 below 12,000. We are looking good. Okay, let's get back to some of these comments here. Let's see, Jungle Lee Sim. Awesome, thank you, buddy. He's a good friend of mine. 5,200 unhappy passengers. I was on Boston flight and they had changeover speed 6,600 feet per minute. Wow. Yeah. What are my new PC specs now? Specs are in the description, guys. I run a new processor. I had to get a new motherboard. I was on a very old motherboard and the Gen 1 i7 with some outdated DDR3. So I've updated my RAM. We've got the motherboard and a new processor in there. Check out the description for PC specs. Once again, I was only able to do it because of you guys as the backbone with those donations. I appreciate you. I hope it's paying off. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. 2848, thank you, Micah. Transport 669, nope, disregard. Let's see. Any chance you could ask Flight Factor model Atsu? I wish, Flight Sim guy. They don't really like talking to me very much. I've been banned from posting. Alright, well, I won't say that. There's been some issues with me posting on the Flight Factor forum before. So, I'm just going to leave it at that. I would love to see it. I hope they do. Alright, I'm going to skip through some of these here. I'm sorry. DJ Rusker says, grease it, grease it. I'm going to hope so. Here comes 10,000 feet. Well, let's get our lights on. Since we are using ATC, I'm going to use the actual procedure that we use for this taxi light here so you guys will be able to see that. Let's have a look outside of what's going on. Man, that's beautiful, isn't it? Vahan Vardanian. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad I caught you live. I'm glad you caught me live too, buddy. Good to have you here. Good to have you aboard. So, with those PWs, you guys have had to cruise lower lately. We did for a while. It's fixed now, apparently. We can take them all the way up to 39.8, I think. But yeah, we had a restriction below 30,000, I believe, for quite a while. Can you make a video about circular land?
Contact Phoenix approach 120.4.
120.4, American 438 was it. Phoenix approach, more American 438, 8.9, descending via the Hydra 1, 08 transition.
American 438, Phoenix approach, thanks. Altimeter 2982, the airport presently at 12 o'clock and 25 miles. Report when you have in sight.
Airport in sight, American 438.
American 438, cleared visual approach, runway 8.
Cleared visual, runway 8, American 438. Alright guys, we're cleared for the visual, so we're going to go ahead and, let's see, we're going to select speed. I'm going to reduce to 210. And we're going to keep coming down via the star. And actually what we can do to clean this up here, we're going to go direct to, clear this for the visual, we're going to take it direct to What's Up, which is the final approach fix. There it is. Insert, clean up the box a little bit. There we go. We're going to set 4 for now. We don't want to get too low out here. Can I make a video about circle to land approaches from Camilo? Yes, I will. That's a good idea. This is the Toliss 319-B Cockpit channel. Rutnut6, question, which is your favorite bus? I already answered that. If it's going to be bumpy, I prefer the 21. If I'm going into a tight airport, I like the 319.
Battle Mountain viewer.
Is it necessary to fill in MDA during approach if the airport has Cat 3? No, I have a full Cat 3 Autoland tutorial on my channel. Go ahead and give that a look. It will explain all those procedures. Great stream, man. Seeing for Argentina. Awesome to have you here, buddy. Thank you, Juan Gomez. DJ Roscoe, banned for telling the truth about the airplane. What can be improved? Yeah, Roscoe, it was a lot of drama. I don't want to get into it. But I'm not banned anymore. I can post. But
1403,
I really
San
don't
Francisco ground.
post
Sorry,
very
missed
much
if you
anymore.
have the
We're going to keep coming down to 3,000.
Runway 1 left.
We're VFE next minus 10. Let's go flaps 1. Let's start configuring the aircraft. Let's go open descent. If I didn't already, we are in open descent.
1403, Roger, before switching to tower.
Let's go ahead and come down. A little bit of speed brakes out. All right, I'm going to take a break from the comments, guys. I'm going to focus on getting the aircraft stable for the approach. So I apologize if I missed something from you. I'm going to go ahead and put the tower frequency in the secondary, which is 18.7. This is kind of funny. We got a comm failure. Whoa, I feel like something just shifted. What happened? We had a wind shift there. We can come back to 190 on the speed now. All right, towers in secondary. Speed brakes out. We're just setting 3,000. Alright, glide slope blue, Loke blue. VFE next minus 10. Let's go flaps 2.
Legit 211 Juliet Alpha, Monterey clearance, cleared to the Los Angeles Airport, Monterey 5 departure. Radar vector is big, sir, then is filed. Climb and maintain 7,000. NorCal departure frequency 121.3, squawk 3714.
Okay, since it is so hot out there, it's 35°C on the ground, what we do in real life is I actually prefer going manual brakes, so I'm going to adjust my approach briefing. We're going to do manual brakes, full reverse, and we're going to try to keep the brakes a little bit cooler.
1 Juliet Alpha, back correct.
All right, approaching 4,000 for 3,000.
438, contact Phoenix Tower 118.7.
18.7, American 438. Date. Phoenix Tower, good morning, American 438, visual, runway 08.
American 438, Phoenix Tower, runway 8, clear to land, wind, variable 6.
Clear to land, runway 8, American 438. All right, so we've got our clear to land. I've go ahead and I've moved the nose light into the takeoff position. So I actually missed a step. So cleared approach, I put it to taxi. Cleared to land, I put it to takeoff. That way, when we're on short final, we're like, hey, did we get cleared to land? I can look up here and just verify that I moved the switch or not.
Copy 1's clear for takeoff. Runway.
All right, we're leveling 3,000. Let's come back to 180 knots.
2,000.
A little bit low on the approach in here, but that's all right. Hot and heavy like this, better to be stable early than late. All right, we are, if you've been watching the channel, I always say flaps 2, 180 knots, 2,000 feet above touchdown. You will always meet your restriction. You'll always be stable. I'm going to see if I can move this over here. Okay, we got Loke Star. The localizer is capturing. Touchdown is 11:18. So we'll call it 3,100. So we're actually already at pretty much 2,000 above touchdown. So as soon as we get glide slope intercept, I'm going to manage speed. I'm going to push, gear down, and continue configuring. Glide slope star. That means we have captured the glide slope. We can set a go-around altitude now of 5,000 feet. Go-around altitude set, 5,000 blue. Here comes the glide slope. That comes in. Gear comes down. Arm the speed brakes. VFNX -10, flaps 3. We checked was up at 3,000. That checks.
Southwest 1403, contact.
VFNX -10, flaps full.
All right, off to North
Cabin check.
Southwest 1403.
Landing checklist. Cabin crew advised. Auto thrust is speed mode. ECAM memo. Landing all green. Landing checklist complete. We are cleared to land runway 08. All right, let's go ahead and disconnect the autopilot correctly right here. And we're going to hand fly it down with the use of auto thrust.
Southwest 1403, NorCal departure, radar contact, climb and maintain flight level 190.
Hopefully we do a little bit better than that last stream. We put it down a little rough. After landing, guys, when we get to the gate and I run the replay, I'll go ahead and rerun some of these comments. So if I miss you, I apologize. 1,000 stable. Landing.
400.
Oh.
300.
A little bit of a sink there. So we should have a minimum call. We do not, which is kind of strange, but... Alright, we are below minimums. We are visual with the runway now.
100.
Correcting a little bit left here.
50. 40. 30. Retard. Retard. 10. 5.
That was kind of ugly. A little bit of floating there. This is what I hate. I got to figure out this nose wheel binding because it's so counterintuitive for me to use my side stick to keep it on the center line. Reverse green, spoilers, reverse green, decel. Yeah, this is really counterintuitive because I want to put right aileron in to keep the wings down. But that takes me right to center line. Maybe one of you guys can post in the comments how you use your tiller setup. Right now, this joystick tiller is not my favorite. But you can see there on the landing, we firm 233, 1.18 meters per second. G is 1.12.
211 Juliet Alpha.
A little bit firm.
South for taxi.
American 438,
But
right turn, Bravo
threshold,
12.
it's 48
and it'll
feet.
be,
I like to cross
Bravo,
the threshold at 50
Charlie
feet, so
11,
we were right
Charlie
on the
to
money
right.
there.
My frequency for now.
5 feet left of center line.
American 438, Bravo, Charlie 11, Charlie into the ramp.
Bravo, Charlie 11, Charlie another ramp, American 438. Alright, so we're going to make another turn here. Let's get everything...
Number 211 Juliet Alpha, Monterey ground, runway 28 left, taxi via Alpha.
28 left via Alpha, 1 Juliet Alpha.
1 Juliet Alpha, correction. Well, it doesn't quite make sense. With the visibility, are you comfortable, or with the ceiling, are you comfortable with runway 28 left, or would you like to go 10 right?
28 left is fine, as far as I can see here. 1 Juliet Alpha.
Yeah, we got the ceiling at 1800, but it should be okay. The winds definitely prefer 28 left. So runway 28 left, taxi via Alpha.
28 left via Alpha, 1 Juliet Alpha.
All right, we are good to text to the ramp. Everything else, let's go ahead and make sure after landing checklist is done. Everything else looks good. That in standby. And we'll taxi into the gate here. I'm going to get back to all your comments, guys. I did see one off the corner of my eye about that landing pop-up program. So yeah, I think it's the most accurate, and I use it because it gives me my height above threshold and distance from center line. I always aim to be 50 feet above the threshold, and of course you want to be on center line. A couple other plugins that I see guys using, a very common one with like the butter and all that, doesn't seem very accurate because it also says that your G-load at touchdown is 0.0 or 0 point something, which is not possible. You can't land at 0.9 G, because on approach you are already at 1 G. So I like this landing plugin. I'll get the stats on it here real quick. Well, we've got to shut the start the AP, but that's okay. We got to wait 3 minutes for the cool down time. Brakes are hot. Delayed takeoff. Yeah, it's toasty outside. Let's go ahead and take a look. We'll clear the ECAM. APU is starting up. What do we got for wheels? 320, so that's actually not bad.
Ground, runway
Let's go ahead and turn him
left,
down.
taxi via Alpha.
34 left via Alpha, TBM 0 Tango Whiskey.
All right, let's go ahead and just turn him off now. We're at the gate. What was I going to say? Oh, so for the temperature, 30C outside, 310 is actually not bad. That's why I went to full reverse and manual braking. Because if you were to do a low brake, auto brake on this landing, your temps would have been probably in the 400s. And if you're doing a quick turn, trying to get the aircraft back around, it's kind of sucks because you have to make sure your temps are below 300C prior to takeoff. And if you're going to taxi back out, you're just going to heat up the brakes probably about 100 degrees. So brake temp is a big deal in the Airbus.
Contact,
oh, this guy's still talking to me.
127.45.
Go away. All right, APU is available. We are 240. I started the timer a little bit late, so that's good enough for 3 minutes. We're going to shut one down. Seatbelt signs are coming off. Number 2 is coming down. Get the bleed going right away. Waiting for 10% N1. There it is. Beacon light comes off. Pumps are coming off. And transponder all the way to standby.
So 1403 Oakland Center, roger, climb and maintain flight level 35.
Let's go ahead and disconnect from Pilot Edge.
Disconnected.
And park and check. We've got slides, disarmed, engines off, seatbelts off, exterior lights are set, fuel pumps off, yellow pump is off. Parking brake is set for now. Parking checklist complete. All right, guys, welcome to Phoenix Sky Harbor. I'm going to go ahead and get into the cockpit here, run a replay, and we will catch up with all these comments. Let's see, where was about here. That looks good. Where do we want to watch it? Let's check out the runway view. All right, let me catch up. Let me catch up with these comments here, guys. Which or answered that? Let's see. All right, this is about right. I'd like to see a 321 created here in X-Plane 11. That would be awesome. I would love to see a 321 as well. Which is better, Toliss 390 or Flight Factor 320? I've got a comparison video up on my channel. I'm going to go ahead and do another one here in the near future, hopefully. But they're both good aircraft. They both have their plus and minus. Look at this frames, jungly sim. Need to get into it, man. Just keep telling the truth after a lack of Airbus sims. Yeah, I hear ya. All right, here she comes. Looking beautiful. We definitely had a little flare juju going on. Everything looked normal there. So we just had we floated, definitely floated a little bit, but then we had to set her down. You got to set her down on the touchdown zone. You can't continue to flare that aircraft. If you flare, I'm sorry, if you float. Oh no, this happens every time. When I switch views with my other keys, I seem to lock up the sim. Well, that's a shame. But what was I trying to say? You have to land in the touchdown zone. You can't float the aircraft past the touchdown zone. If you do that, it's a mandatory go around. So apologize for the crash there. That's a recreated crash, so I think I know what's causing that. I'm going to have to get into that. All right. Is Pilot Edge always staffed? No, they open at 9 o'clock local time, which is West Coast in California, and I'm not exactly sure how late they go. I've studied ops, and yeah, there's a big difference between the U.S. and EU. Definitely a big difference. Great flare float. Yep, it was a floaty one. It was a floaty one, guys. The landing program is landing plugin 2.00, I believe. It's on the X-Plane store, or not store, I'm sorry. It's on the forum or download section. It's a free add-on. Works really well, and it's much more accurate. And I don't like how the in-your-face, the butter one is. Yeah, I don't like it either. It's just called landing plugin. I believe it's like 2.02 or something. There may be an updated version, but it is the most accurate I find. It gives you proper G loads. 200 feet per minute isn't that bad. I mean, it was firm, but that's probably your average landing in an Airbus anyway. I try to, obviously you want to keep it as juicy, nice and buttery as you can, but when it's hot and heavy like that, real world, you got to put it down on the touchdown zone. You can't float. How come the brake temp on the left is more than the right? That's because I was using the left brake a little bit more, so that's actually modeled correctly. It's a asymmetrical braking, essentially, so I heated up the left side more. That is the downside to using manual brakes versus auto brakes. With the auto brakes, you get a nice even wear and tear on the brakes, but when it's hot, above 30°C, I like to use manual brakes and really just use those reversers to slow the aircraft down. Micah, great flight landing. Appreciate all you're doing. Continued content. Awesome. You're close to being subscribers. Cool. All right, guys. I apologize for the crash there at the end. Thank you so much for the donations. You guys are awesome. This Friday, I've got a surprise video coming out in the Piston series. Keep an eye out for that Discord link. It's going to be coming out very soon. You guys can join it, and we'll all stick together and grow this channel like crazy. All right, guys, that's going to do it for now. I appreciate you joining the stream, and I will catch you next time. I hope you all have a blessed day wherever you are.